How many visitors have browsed your website without leaving a trace? Does a design that appears nice suffice to retain, persuade, and convert? Many businesses are operating seemingly professional websites that in reality are silent drains on revenue every day. No strategy, no direction, no compelling calls to action. The result? High traffic, low sales, beautiful data, but empty wallets. Meanwhile, a new approach has helped many turn their websites into truly effective sales tools, with conversion rates multiplied. What causes most websites to fail at converting, even when nothing seems wrong at first glance? It starts with the first, most common and dangerous mistake. Part 1. Redefining the role of a website in modern business. Most businesses today still treat websites as decorative items. They exist merely for the sake of it, like digital flyers floating in cyberspace. But in reality, a website that doesn't act will never generate results. It will sit still and watch potential customers walk away one by one. That is the failure of passive thinking. Such a website doesn't sell, doesn't influence, doesn't retain. It is a waste of resources and opportunity. We need to view a website as a warrior on the business front line. It's not merely a place for people to learn more. It must persuade, guide, and convert. This mindset transforms not only how we design websites, but also how businesses operate. From a static space to a continuously running system that attracts and closes sales. That is the awakening. That is why you need a website that lives, fights, and delivers value. A website cannot just lie there waiting for someone to stumble upon it. It must have a clear goal to generate business results. If you invest in design without setting conversion measurement goals, you've missed the primary reason your website exists. Every business should ask, is my website selling? If not, face the truth. It is asleep in an era of fierce competition. We live in a world where customers are no longer patient. If your website doesn't immediately show that you understand them, offer a solution, and are trustworthy, they'll disappear with a single click. Not because you're not good enough, but because you're not strategic enough. And strategy starts with mindset. Your website is no longer just a digital representation. It's your sales spearhead, the first touchpoint in the customer journey. This is not mere advice. It is a reality proven by results. A website can become an automatic sales machine if built with the right mindset. Conversely, if you undervalue it, your website will drag your business down. Because when customers don't find answers from you, they'll find them from your competitors, and you'll lose them without ever knowing why. The transformation does not begin with technology. It starts with changing the way you look at your website. No longer just for show, it must generate revenue. It's where strategy meets action. It's where you control your brand narrative, guide experiences, and earn trust. Wake up from the dream of a passive website. Turn it into a sustainable profit-generating system. Part 2. Prioritize content strategy. First, design second. One of the most common mistakes in website building is prioritizing design while treating content as something to fill in afterward. Many websites are created with eye-catching layouts, harmonious colors, and impressive images, but the content is hollow, generic, unpersuasive, and unconvertible. Why? Because it's written last, as an afterthought. This renders the entire design effort meaningless. A website cannot sell if it's only beautiful but doesn't say the right words. Images may attract attention, but it's language that retains, guides, and drives the customer to act. If you start with design, you're building a house without a foundation. No matter how sophisticated the architecture, it will easily collapse without the most crucial element, a strategic message. That's where the real difference begins. The new approach starts by defining the content first, specifically the sales copy. Not poetic language, but words with clear goals, addressing the customer's problems, promising specific outcomes, triggering emotions, and motivating action. Every word on the website must have a reason to exist. Every paragraph should lead to a conversion. Content isn't meant to be read, it's meant to shape decisions, positively and responsibly. Once the content is finalized, design then comes in to serve the strategy. The design should highlight the message, guide the reader's eyes, and logically present each content block. Every white space, icon, and image must be placed purposefully to support the sales objective. A website is not a playground for personal creativity. It's a business mind map, materialized through rational image and text structure. The old method often uses pre-made design templates, filled with placeholder texts like lorem ipsum, a ghost language, and only then does content writing begin. This is clear evidence of a directionless website. Because the actual content wasn't written for the customer, it merely filled the gaps. In contrast, the new method writes content as if speaking directly to the buyer, understanding their psychology, empathizing with their pain, and inviting them on a journey of transformation. Picture the difference. One is a flashy website that doesn't clarify who it helps. The other is a modest-looking site where every word hits home with the audience. Which one sells? The answer is clear. The website with a content strategy always wins. Because customers don't act based on design. They act because they feel understood. And language is the only tool that creates that feeling. You don't need to be a great copywriter, but you do need a formula. Good website content is a proven science, not a creative gamble. Start by writing the answers to 3 questions. Who am I helping? What problem are they facing? How do I help them overcome it? When you answer these clearly, every line on your website becomes sharper, stronger, and impossible to ignore. Part 3. Design according to the customer journey, not business ego. Another common mistake in website design is focusing on the business itself instead of the customer. This is evident in displays of office photos, team portraits, technical equipment, or complicated work processes. Every image, color, and introduction centers on us, forgetting what truly matters to the reader. The result? They leave because they don't see themselves in any of it. In contrast, the new approach requires businesses to place the customer at the center of every design detail. Images should depict the customer's life after their problem is solved. Satisfaction, relief, and accomplishment. A computer repair shop shouldn't show a technician dismantling a motherboard. Instead, it should feature a user working comfortably because their device is running perfectly. The principle is simple. The customer is the protagonist of the story. They don't care who you are, how good you are, or where you studied. They only want to know, can you help me? Do you understand me? Have you helped someone like me before? When your website answers these 3 questions clearly, through visuals, messaging, and structure, trust begins to form from the very first second. The best part is, you don't need studio photos or complex graphics. You just need images that accurately reflect emotions and situations after transformation. A website is not a self-portrait of a brand. It's a mirror where customers see a better version of themselves, thanks to you. When your design reflects this, there's no need for showiness. It persuades through deep empathy and precise vision. Stop using your website as a place to tell your own story. Turn it into the place where you tell the story your customers want to hear, and more importantly, where they see themselves. When you do this, every design element becomes a language of emotion. And when emotion speaks, reason follows. That's the fastest path from I'm just browsing to I want to work with you. Part 4. Shift from a sales closing mindset to relationship building strategy. One of the most dangerous mistakes is expecting your website to close a sale immediately. Most businesses only install a contact or book now button and assume that's enough to sell. But the truth is, 96% of website visitors are not ready to buy on their first visit. They don't trust you yet. They're researching, they're comparing. And if all you do is shout, buy now, you'll lose the majority of potential customers. This old approach is like asking a stranger out for dinner just 30 seconds after meeting. It's rushed, it's awkward, and it gets rejected. Instead, the new method calls for a longer but far more effective approach, building a conversion runway. This means you need a plan to attract, engage, help, and nurture relationships before making a sale. And the core tool in this strategy is the lead magnet. A lead magnet is a high-value piece of content offered for free in exchange for contact info, usually an email. It could be a checklist, guide, template, spreadsheet, or calculator, as long as it helps the customer solve a specific part of their problem, small enough for them to download right away, yet valuable enough for them to sense your expertise. A good lead magnet doesn't just collect emails, it leaves a memorable first impression. Once you've got the email, the nurturing phase begins. Instead of sending bland sales emails, you build a sequence that continuously helps. Each email should deliver insights, practical solutions, or specific instructions that move the reader closer to their desired result. Over time, they begin to trust you, like you, and rely on you. That's when you introduce the offer, not as a push, but as a natural next step. This strategy works on the help sell model. The first 3 emails deliver pure value. The 4th email introduces your service. Then the cycle repeats with each campaign. This approach not only builds trust, but also makes you stand out in a noisy world of ads and distractions. You're no longer just a salesperson. You become an advisor, a trusted voice, someone they want to work with. Your website should have 2 clear conversion paths. The first is a primary CTA for the 4% of visitors ready to act now. The second is a lead magnet for the other 96%. This is the key point. If you optimize only for the 4%, you're ignoring almost the entire potential market. But if you know how to nurture the remaining 96%, you'll build a machine that creates high-quality leads every day, week, and month. And it doesn't stop at retention. The lead magnet is also a powerful tool to attract new customers. You can promote it on social media, via Facebook, Instagram, and Google Ads, where the cost per download is much lower than a direct sale. But most importantly, you're not just getting traffic, you're building a list, an asset, and your own media authority. When people visit your website, they're at different awareness stages. Some know what they need, others don't. If all you say is buy now, you're dismissing the 96% who aren't ready. But if you say, I can help you today with this resource, you open the door to a new relationship. And when nurtured correctly, that relationship will turn into revenue. Not just once, but over and over again. Part 5. Eliminate the excess to optimize the conversion journey. One of the most obvious mistakes is stuffing a website with dozens of unnecessary pages. Company mission, history, community activities, core values, brand story, and so on. These pages may sound professional, but in reality, they disorient and mislead visitors. They come looking for a solution, but get lost in a maze of irrelevant information. The old method prioritizes form over function. Websites become lengthy resumes, trying to impress through titles instead of real value. Meanwhile, the new approach focuses on a minimalist yet purposeful structure. Every page, every section, every line exists for one reason only: to lead the visitor toward an action, booking, calling, or leaving their contact info. Everything non-essential must be eliminated. An effective website needs only a few core pages: a home page to define value, a services page to present solutions, a testimonials page, social proof, a CTA page, clear action, and an attractive lead magnet. Each page serves a specific role in convincing the customer. No page exists just to complete the set. This structure helps customers think less, feel less confused, and make decisions faster. Minimalism does not mean laziness. It's the art of precisely choosing what to say and saying it at the right time. The more accurately and briefly you speak, the more persuasive you become. Today's users don't read websites top to bottom. They scan, skim, and look for clear signals. If your website can't convey its message within a few seconds, you'll lose them for good. A streamlined structure keeps them with you. Cut out everything that only talks about who we are. Replace it with how we help you. Don't write your CEO's biography. Write about the results your customer can achieve. Don't show company celebration photos. Show testimonials from real people who've experienced your service. Every piece of content must answer one question: how does this help the customer? If there's no clear answer, delete it. A website doesn't need to be full to be powerful. It just needs to be right. Right content, right structure, right message. When you strip away everything down to the core, the real value, your website becomes sharp as a blade. It doesn't need a lot to make an impact. It only needs focus. And that focus is what leads to action, not a clutter of noise. Part 6. Write like a human, not like a conference transcript. Let's face it, customers don't read websites like they read scientific journals. They want to skim quickly, understand instantly, and feel something right away. Yet many websites are still written like academic papers, using overly formal, complex language that makes readers feel distanced and exhausted. Not only does this fail to build trust, but it also drives people away before they even understand what you're offering. That kind of language kills connection. The new writing approach must be simple, natural, like how real people talk. You don't need academic vocabulary to sound professional. You just need to be clear and sincere. Think of your website as a conversation. You speak, the customer listens. If they see themselves in your words, they stay. If they feel like they're being lectured, they leave. Words aren't just for explaining. They're tools for building rapport, creating warmth, and earning trust. Switching from academic language to a conversational tone doesn't mean you lose credibility. In fact, it shows that you understand your customer and know how to speak as a companion. No matter what industry you're in, law, healthcare, engineering, your customers are still human. And humans connect with voices that are genuine, concise, and warm, not stiff or overblown. The more down-to-earth you are, the easier it is to connect. And the easier it is to connect, the easier it is to sell. Review every paragraph on your website. If there's a sentence you would never say in a real conversation with a customer, rewrite it. If you have to read it 3 times to understand it, simplify it. If a 7th grader wouldn't get it, you've written it wrong. Don't try to sound smart, be sincere. Clarity always beats complexity. And the truth is, simple language always sells better than fancy words. Part 7. Turn your website into an automated revenue system. Your website shouldn't exist just as a digital signboard. It needs to operate like a smart machine, attracting customers, guiding them, keeping them engaged, and ultimately closing sales. The old method builds a website and leaves it idle. No nurturing, no monitoring, no optimization. The result, a stagnant site that brings no profit, gives no feedback, and does no work. You're holding onto a dead asset, all the while thinking you have a business tool. The new method transforms your website into a true sales engine. Every word is calculated, every button has intent, every process is automated, from lead magnets to nurturing emails and CTAs, all run in a clear, strategic sequence. When executed correctly, the website doesn't just make one-time sales, it generates a steady stream of returning customers. It works 24/7, never complains, never asks for a raise. It's the best employee your business will ever have. Is your website actively working, or merely existing? How many more introductions need to be written before a real action finally happens? No one needs another beautiful interface if it doesn't deliver results. What truly leaves a lasting impression is not the color scheme, but the feeling of being guided, understood, and convinced. No strategy matters if the customer doesn't feel important. A website is not a showroom. It's a space to occupy the customer's mind and trigger their decisions. This is not just a change. This is a complete overthrow of outdated thinking. Thank you for watching the whole video. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos.